Well, as you know, the word abstract paintings itself is very ambiguous by name itself. And then most of these paintings are also do not have a title and they're called untitled. So these two things sum up about the whole product that we see in the end, that it means it could be anything which is visually pleasant, it could be anything which is maybe the artist thinks about what he or she wants to depict, but then in the end it depends on the viewers how they take it. Abstract painting started maybe in the mid-80s, 1880s, when people wanted to do something different. And the idea was to exactly reproduce what is seen to the naked eye, to put it onto the canvas. After that, when the camera came, with a click of a shot, you can have what you want to see. Then the art world, many of them started thinking, what's the point of doing something which can be done by the camera? What are we adding different? How are we different to the camera? Because until then, there was imagination which is much less, and actual replicating what you see was more important. But after that, when the period started, the idea was to produce something which is different than the rest made until those time. So people started to do different things. Then came surrealism, after realism, then came cubism, abstract, and all these different methods of paintings, applying different techniques, and the visual effect of that was very different. It was even a combination of the painting and photography, which was also very interesting. Mixing various mediums became very common, and that made the visual experience of viewer much different than the usual monotony of it, by seeing a court scene or a landscape or something which otherwise we normally see through the naked eye. The imagination part was very, very limited, but with this, the imagination part just explored, and all these started in a different league altogether. And if you see the gradual process of all this is, if you look at the artists who actually made this, they're all realistic artists to begin with. They learned everything very clearly from the basics, but then over a period of time they broke the law. They had their own handwriting, they had their own expressionism, and then came the end result of it was something totally different from different artists, visually very appealing. If you ask the meaning, which many people do ask, okay, what do you want to say? What is it? It's not easy to say what it is. What does it affect? Sometimes an artist may be thinking of something one, but then there are 200 people who are seeing it, 500 people seeing it. They may have 200, 300, 500 different ideas. That is very interesting because it's the same painting, but the understanding of it or explanation of it coming from different people is always different, and that makes it very challenging, interesting, and invigorating. But for me, why I took to this, if you ask, to abstract painting, well, I've done it all, like all the basics, realistic painting, figurative painting, landscape painting, and also I wanted to do something different where I could let myself go, do whatever I wanted, and let the players and the colors play its own character. So for me, these kind of paintings are actually depicting life. Life, why? Because when we start with a white canvas. There's nothing on it. So a new day starts like a white canvas, and then we choose the colors. We choose the colors, which means we choose what we're going to do for the day. And what we choose is what happens during the day. So what we choose, the colors like here and here, are two different visual appeal. Here, these colors are not there and these colors are not here. So the colors we choose decides the end result of the painting. Similarly, what we do in the day, throughout the day, decides at the end of the day how the day has been used. And so there is a layer after layer, and we are actually exploring the unknown. We don't know in this technique what will be the end result after one stroke. So is the life. At the end of the day, we don't know what it will be like that. So it will be pleasant experience, unpleasant experience, not so good experience. And then what we do is at the end of the day, when we have done a painting, we go, look, is it what we wanted? Or is it that something we need to be different? Then we try, apply another color, another technique, another method, and try to achieve something closer to what we find is visually stimulating and interesting. And then we do it all over again. So it's like another day, another effort, another result, and this goes on and on and on until we find, okay, I think we are fine with this. This needs nothing more to be done. It's all done. It's complete. So maybe that project of your life is complete. And then you start a new canvas, you start a new project, and you start doing it all over again. And that's how the painting continues.
The abstract scene, I think, is the place where he lets himself go. And he sort of plays with himself, his memories, his emotions, and that leads us to a completely new sort of and different sort of flavor of work, which don't completely match or actually even talk of continuity with the other series. So we see that one individual is so easily sort of can move from one shoe into the other. That not only talks of his versatility as an artist himself, but also the range and scope of things that are in his mind, and the sort of ambitions that sort of linger within him. And I'm sure this is only the beginning of the great collection that he has already made. And I look forward to even more works being produced by him in the near future.
I personally find this form of expression of my creativity, my innovativeness, and everything that goes with it in a different level. And I'm enjoying doing it. So I've decided to continue with this kind of experimentalism at this point of time and see the result with different color, with different techniques, with different method, and each one should give me a different result for me to move on to the next one. That's why I look at it, my own abstract collection.